Hi everybody, welcome back to Clues by Sam. Happy Sunday or Monday if you're watching this tomorrow because I am recording really late. I'm aware of that. I had some trouble. This is the third time I'm trying to record this. So let's see how well this goes. And I want to start a video thanking so much every one of you that left a comment on yesterday's video. You guys are so kind. And I'm glad that you appreciate the realness I leave on the channel, which is one of my goals, of course. I want to keep this real, and I'm just sharing stuff I like and how I feel. And I don't really talk much about things other than the game during these videos because I feel like it's not the time. But I also live stream, and on live streams we can talk about different stuff, and sometimes I make some vlogs, but the main thing is I'm just glad that you guys can relate and that you appreciate the help that I can provide, or me showing the different struggles that all of us may face when playing these types of games, and how important it is to keep positivity. My accent doesn't help me with these two words, positivity and negativity. And I'm gonna keep doing this, so glad you guys like it. We're gonna play a hard one today. And if you don't know what Clues by Sam is, it is a daily puzzle game where there are 20 people, and each of them is either a criminal or an innocent, and we gotta figure out what they are using the clues that they give us. And I'm gonna explain my logic as I go, so you can follow along if you want to. I don't recommend starting with a hard one if you haven't played before, but if you want to do, I'm here to help. And I also want to mention that there is a, let me go down here. There is an inspect option that shows you the card text and stuff, and also some other text that might help you with the clue. And in my panic yesterday, I clicked the show hint, trying to do exactly that, and all that happened. So I want you guys to know that the inspect was what I was looking for, and that lets you get some help with the card without using a hint. Now, yes, that was in my mind. Let's hope that this one is not as terrible as yesterday. So let's start with Ellie telling us there is only one innocent above Vera. Vera is down here, and Ellie is an innocent who is above her, so that means that nobody else is an innocent in column A, besides Vera, she may be. And we don't need Ellie's clue anymore. Now we have Alice's clue telling us that only one of the two criminals above Wanda is Franco's neighbor. So where's Franco? Franco is here, and he is above Wanda, and there's two people neighboring him who are also above Wanda, but only one of those is a criminal. So there's two criminals above Wanda, one of them neighbor Franco, and the other one may be Franco or Rowan. So there's two criminals here and four people, two innocents as well. Now Karen says that column B is the only column with exactly two innocents. So if we know there's two innocents above Wanda, then Wanda is not an innocent, so that column B can have two innocents. And now we know also that column A doesn't have a second innocent, so Vera is not an innocent after all. Now, we still need Karen's clue because it says that column B is the only column, so when we're dealing with column C and D, we're gonna use that, I think. And let's look at Kita's clue saying that there's an odd number of criminals neighboring Rowan. So Rowan has four criminals neighboring him so far, which means that either one of the others or three of them, yeah, are criminals, so that Rowan can keep an odd number of criminals neighboring him. And Wanda gives us a new clue. Exactly 3 of Tyler's 6 criminal neighbors also neighbor Rowan. So Rowan and Tyler share 4 people as neighbors. One of them is already a criminal. And we know that a total of 3 of them are criminals. So that makes only one of them an innocent. So we know that Rowan has only one innocent neighbor, right? Because if they share 3 people as neighbors, let's say that Lucy and Martin are and Wanda are the criminals. That will make Rowan have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Criminal neighbors. And like I said before, Rowan needed either one of the remaining neighbors to be a criminal or 3 of them. So since it can't be Xena because she is shared with Rowan and Tyler, then Tyler himself has to be the last criminal here. But we don't know who are the criminals yet. Hope that made sense. Now Tyler says that only one of the 6 criminals neighboring Gunny is Rowan's neighbor. Okay, so Gunny and Rowan share 2 people as neighbors, and only one of them is a criminal, so Lucy and Martin are opposites. One of them is a criminal. And now we know that Gunny has 6 criminals neighboring him. So Gunny has 8 neighbors total. 6 of them are criminals, which means that 2 of them are innocent. So one of the innocents is here, and the second one is going to be somebody else. Now, what else do we know? We know about Xena, because Rowan has only one innocent neighboring him, right? And now we know that that innocent is shared with Gunny, so Xena is a criminal. And Xena doesn't give us a new clue. But we know that Tyler has 6 criminal neighbors. So one of the innocents, Tyler, as well as Gunny, has 8 neighbors total, and 6 of them are criminals, so they are in the same situation. And that means that 2 of Tyler's neighbors are innocents. One of them is shared with Gunny, right? Can Rowan be the second innocent? If Rowan is an innocent, that makes Franco a criminal. And then everybody here is a criminal because we know that Tyler has 2 innocents neighboring him. So, Gunny would still need a second innocent. Could that be Lucy? If Lucy is an innocent, that makes Brian a criminal, so that works for Gunny. And everybody else, the neighbor's Gunny, has to be a criminal. So that doesn't break any rules. And it doesn't matter what Gunny is because there's no other columns other than column B with 2 innocents, so that works. But what if Lucy... I'm gonna have to remove all of these tags. What if Lucy and Martin switched? What if she is a criminal and Martin is an innocent? Then she would make Brian an innocent. And now Gunny has... Is this what I tested before? Now Gunny has his 2 innocent neighbors. Is this what I tested before? Because now everybody else is a criminal and that works. If Lucy is an innocent, Martin is a criminal. Same thing. So any scenarios work with Lucy and Martin. We just know that they are opposites. Can Gunny and Tyler share Noah as the second innocent? Because if they share Noah and either Lucy or Martin as second innocents, that doesn't work. I can already see that because that will make everybody else, the neighbor's Gunny, criminal. And that breaks here. Because now Tyler has more innocents than he should. You know? So Noah being an innocent breaks Tyler. Or Gunny if Tyler isn't broken. Because if Rowan is a criminal, that makes Franco an innocent, and now Gunny has more innocents. So Noah breaks these 2 guys. That means that he is a criminal. And now let's make Lucy and Martin opposites again. Noah says that Brian and Martin have 1 criminal neighbor in common. Oh, so Brian and Martin share Gunny and Franco as neighbors, and one of them is a criminal. The other one is gonna be an innocent. So where do I look next? Is it Gunny? Is it Franco? Let's try to look at Franco, because Franco affects... Oh, but we don't know anything about Martin. Let's try to look at Franco. If I make him innocent and Gunny a criminal, him being an innocent makes Rowan a criminal. Now, Gunny has his two innocent neighbors, one here, one here. So that makes Brian a criminal, which would make Lucy the last innocent for Gunny, and Martin a criminal. So that works. And then everybody here will be a criminal for Gunny, and Umar or Ziad will be criminals or innocents to make Tyler... They will be opposites to make Tyler have a second innocent neighbor, which works. If we go back here and make Franco a criminal and Gunny an innocent, now Franco being a criminal makes Rowan an innocent. And Tyler has his two innocent neighbors, so that will make Umar and Ziad criminals. But that doesn't really matter for Gunny, because somebody here could be an innocent. Could it be Martin? If Lucy is a criminal, that makes Brian an innocent. And that works fine for Gunny. If Martin is a criminal, that makes Lucy an innocent and Brian a criminal. And now Gunny needs a second innocent here, which is fine. Is it? Who am I looking at then? Tyler has two, Gunny has one, but he could have two. Who am I looking at then? If I know these two are opposites and these two are opposites. Now I'm afraid I'm leaving a rerun of yesterday and I'm not seeing something that's pretty obvious. So I'm nervous, which might make it worse. It might make me see even less of what I should be seeing. Let's try to make Ziad an innocent. Let's try to make Umar an innocent. Let's start there. If Umar is an innocent, that makes Rowan a criminal, right? Because now Tyler has two innocents, one here in row 3 and Umar. Rowan being a criminal makes Franco an innocent, which makes Gunny a criminal, and that's okay. And now Gunny has his two... Oh, that doesn't work. Because Gunny has two innocents neighboring him. It works if Lucy is an innocent, because that will make Martin and Brian both criminals. So now Gunny has his two, Tyler has his two, and everybody else is a criminal. But can Umar be a criminal? We just proved that, have we not? If Umar is a criminal, then the scenario goes up here to these guys. Or maybe Ziad. I mean, Ziad... Yeah. Ziad and Umar are the same if they're opposites. So that's not where I have to be looking at. Let me look at Clyde for a second. Put the same color on the tags. If Clyde happens to be an instant, that's Gunny's second instant because he has an instant here. So that will make Franco a criminal, which will make Rowan an instant. And that would also make Brian a criminal because Clyde is the second instant. And Brian being a criminal makes Lucy an instant, which makes Martin a criminal. And Franco makes Gunny an instant. Oh, but now column C has 2 instants. And we know that only column B has 2 instants. So Clyde can't be an instant. Wow. Amazing how that just showed up with me simulating the scenario. So let's make Clyde a criminal. And he doesn't give us a new clue. I'm thinking Sam is trolling us with these difficulty levels. I think the categories are kind of skewed. Huh? So Clyde doesn't give us a new clue. But what do we know? Can we try and make Donna an innocent? And if we do, we know that both Franco and Brian are criminals, right? Because Donna will be the second innocent for Gunny, and the first one is here in row 3. So Franco makes Gunny innocent and Rowan innocent. And now everybody here is a criminal because Tyler has 2 innocents, Gunny has 2 innocents, Jane is gonna be a criminal as well. So that works. Donna can be an innocent. Can we make Gunny an innocent now? Or did I just try this? Can I make Gunny a criminal? And if I do that, Franco is an innocent. And now Brian has to be a criminal, which makes Lucy a criminal. And Rowan is a criminal because of Franco, right? So now Tyler needs a second instant here, but Gunny has his 2. But it works all the same. Oop. Can we make... The thing is, if we make Lucy a criminal, that'll make Brian and Martin innocents, right? And that's Gunny's 2 innocent neighbors. So that would force Franco to be a criminal because Gunny couldn't have any more innocent neighbors. And now column C has 2 innocents. I like how this is happening. Like it's just showing itself like, oh, can we do this? And then it kind of, if you have it in mind while you're testing it, it shows up. So I think one thing I failed in doing yesterday is that I didn't really keep stuff in mind while I was testing scenarios. And then it didn't come up to me when it showed itself like it is doing today, maybe. So do we have a new clue, Brian's? And he just needs. There's an odd number of innocents below Donna. Okay, so now we know that Donna has innocents below her. Could those innocents, or I mean, it couldn't be all 3 of them because it has to be an odd number, and there's 3 people below her who could be innocents. So could all 3 of them be innocents? Of course not. Why? Because if Umar and Ziad both are innocents, Tyler has more innocents than he should. So according to one, so that doesn't work. So only one person below Donna is an innocent, that's for sure. can that person be Jane? And if it is Jane, that's Gunny's second instant neighbor. So that would make Franco a criminal. And now Gunny doesn't have any more instant neighbors. Franco being a criminal makes Rowan an instant. And everybody here will be a criminal, so this scenario works. But is it the only scenario that works? Let's try to make Jane a criminal. If we do that... Stop. If we do that, Jane a criminal, somebody down here is gonna have to be an innocent. Let's say that's Uma. And that will be Tyler's second instant neighbor, which would make Rowan a criminal, which would make Franco an innocent. So that's Gunny's second instant neighbor, which will make Donna a criminal. So are we learning that Donna is always a criminal? That's the question. I think so. Of course, yes. Because if Donna is an innocent and we know there's one innocent below her, if she's an innocent, then column D would have two innocents, which can't be because column B has two innocents and it's the only column like so. So Donna is a criminal. Okay, so different perspectives. Now we know that Franco and Gunny are opposites and Jane and Franco are opposites. Because if Jane is an innocent, then Franco has to be a criminal because Gunny would have no more innocent neighbors. And if Franco is an innocent, that's vice versa. So what does that make Gunny? Because if Jane is an innocent, that will make Franco a criminal, which will make Gunny an innocent. If Jane is a criminal, that will make Franco an innocent, which make Gunny a criminal. So Gunny can be either. Okay. It's okay. Oh, Donna gives us a new clue. An odd number of instances in row 2, neighbor Martin. Ah, so that solves it. Because if Gunny is a criminal, then there's 2 instances neighboring Martin in row 2. Franco and Jane. That's an even number. So Gunny has to be an instant. Should be the only instant neighboring. Isn't oh, that's the opposite. Because if Gunny is an instant, he makes Franco a criminal. And that makes Jane an instant. So my tag misled me. And if Gunny is a criminal, that makes Franco an instant, which makes Jane a criminal. So Gunny has to be a criminal. And Gunny being a criminal makes Franco an instant, which makes Jane a criminal. Ooh, my streak. And Franco being an instant makes Rowan a criminal. My streak is out the window this week. Now Rowan says only one person in row 3 has exactly 3 instant neighbors. So row 3, there's Karen, who has 3 instant neighbors. So we know that nobody else has 3 instant neighbors. And the only other person who could have 3 is not Lucy, because she doesn't have any more neighbors. It's not Noah, because Noah couldn't have 3 even if he tried. And Martin has 2, so if his last neighbor were to be an instant, he would have 3 too, but he can't. Umar has to be a criminal, which makes Ziad an instant. Painful. Okay. I think this one was... What did I get wrong? Oh, I misled myself. Yeah. Once again, I appreciate that you guys like my realness. I'm so sorry about the late video today, but I do really like playing these games and all sorts of puzzle games that make you get to the end with the game's mechanics and you don't have to like try and error stuff or brute force your way through. I love this, and I appreciate Sam so much, of course, as well. I think sometimes the puzzles are a bit harder than they want to be. But like I have said on other videos, sometimes it's our day, it's our mental state, is we're physically tired. There's so many variables that contribute to us just doing differently in each day. So it's important that we don't pressure ourselves and that we just share the joy of doing the puzzle and maybe talking about it. And I love having you guys to talk to, and I appreciate every single one of you who watch my videos. And you don't have to leave a comment to be appreciated. I will leave you here for today. I don't like sticking for too long, and I'll see you tomorrow for more Goals by Sam. Bye bye.